Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. I get sent a lot of community cast replays, more than I can usually cast, so I decided to lump a bunch of them together today in this multicast here. So we're going to start with a replay from Triari. He's going up against Dark Elves with his High Elves, so let's get to it. Got a couple of Dragon Princes over on the side here, including the Regiment of Renown Fireborn. Actually looks like Dragon Prince in the Silver Helm, supported by a Noble. Going to be the same thing over here. Yep, some Spearmen and Ilario with some Swordmasters as well. As for the Dark Elves, definitely gone with more of a skirmish, mobile-focused build here. We've got some repeater crossbows, Cold One Knights. Same thing over here, more repeater crossbows. We've got Knights of the Ebon Claw, Slaanesh Harvesters, Spearmen, Swordsmen up front, and Morathi up in the air. So you can see the Dark Elves going to be making their way forward to do a bit of skirmishing in the early game here. The High Elves, unfortunately, did not bring any skirmish of their own. They don't have any, like, archers or anything, so they're going to have to just push forward here to try and get onto the Dark Elves' infantry units and so on. The Dark Elves kind of deploying here with this tower in a bit of a defensive position, so yeah, decent stuff so far. Lariel's going to have to be a little bit careful not to get caught out here by Morathi. Morathi uses Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma to try and catch her, but very nicely done with the Tempest there. Morathi will take some decent damage from that. And of course it will slow her down, prevent her from catching Alarielle. Looks like we're going to see the Wand of Caradron used here. Comes in, I don't know, it didn't look like it did a whole lot of damage to Alarielle, but the Dragon Princess Silverhelm is going to be kind of used to screen things out a little bit here. Meanwhile, the High Elf Infantry continuing to advance right up the pipe here. Going to be getting into combat with these foul Dark Elves. And yeah, the Swordmasters will probably make a pretty big difference in this fight, as long as they don't get munched on too hard by, like, these Knights of the Ebon Claw and the Slaanesh Harvesters and so on. But so far, so good. A lot of the High Elf Cav kind of just deploying in the low ground over here. Not really in a position to try and support this melee engagement too well, but nice point-blank fire from those repeater crossbows. Looks like the Hellebronai here are going to charge downhill, get into those High Elf Spearmen. Should be a decent situation so far. The Slaanesh Harvesters charging into the front, though, of these those Spearmen. Not going to be the best, but this is great. These Spearmen do get into the back line here, and might actually be able to do some damage. Nope, looks like the repeater crossbows actually pull away there. But you can see over on this side, the Dark Elves not really wanting to engage here, understanding that these Cold One Knights are going to get outclassed pretty hard by just the amount of High Elf Cav here. Of course, Fireborn also going to be potentially very powerful as well. But the Dark Elf infantry engagement isn't going particularly well, of course, with the Swordmasters involved there. Definitely starting to lose out on quite a few units, and haven't done a whole lot of damage to the High Elf Cav anyway, but we'll see. The Noble comes in to bog up the Knights of the Ebon Claw, and then they're going to get charged from multiple directions here, it looks like. Oh man, those Dragon Princes with their high charge bonus, especially getting in on a rear charge, is going to be good. Alarielle and Morathi going to be fighting in here. Multiple healing effects dropped, so things just escalating quite badly. And you can see there on the rear charge from those Dragon Princes, although they don't have much in the way of armor piercing or you know, anti-large, just through sheer charge bonus, they were able to come in, do a ton of damage to those Knights of the Ebon Claw. Of course, the Noble playing a big part of that. Silverhelm's taking some brutal damage, but the Knights of the Ebon Claw getting seen back there. Likewise over here, these Cold One Knights getting shut down hard by the Fireborn. And that does mean that a lot of these Dark Rider crossbows are not going to be able to escape. You can see they're getting caught up here in the Silver Helms and the Fireborn as well. So a few of those models will be taken down there. Yeah, same thing with these guys up on the high ground. You can see they're kind of pinned up against the tower here, so they can't really escape this this charge of these various units here. Slaanesh Harvester is going to be thrown in here to try and hold back the Fireborn, and a very nice Soul Stealer as well might be able to pull the Dark Elves back into this one, as it does a ton of damage to both units of Dragon Princes and allows these repeater crossbows to fire in from behind as well, getting some very effective damage in. So far, still very even. Swordmasters have cleaned up a ton of kills here, but now these Dark Riders are potentially in a situation to start shooting those Swordmasters in the back, which is not great. No other Soul Stealer here, and that's probably going to be enough to finish off the Fireborn and the other Dragon Princes here. Shield of Thorns giving them some physical resistance, so they'll be able to resist more of the attacks from the Spearmen and more, but likewise, Morathi's doing a bunch of damage to Alarielle in here. She's also taking a bunch of damage especially from the Nobles. So it's anyone's game here at this point. The Nobles both going to get a bit of that heal. Looks like it did hit the Fireborn as well. They only have 9 unit models left anyway, but yeah, Morathi got beat up pretty bad there by the Nobles, which is not great. For the Dark Elves, definitely going to put them in a little bit of a rough situation leadership-wise, but again, you can see this tower ends up playing against the Dark Elves a little bit here as they're forced to kind of move around to escape. And that does mean that these Dark Riders, again, going to be getting caught up by the Dragon Princes and various other units here. You can see them getting taken down quite easily, obviously, against this very elite unit. Silverhelm's getting involved as well. You can see even Spearmen filtering through. So yeah, just a bad day for the Dark Riders overall. They're really not able to escape very effectively here and start taking a lot of damage. And keep in mind, again, every model that they lose is another bit of ammo that they're not going to have access to. So looking pretty good for Triari so far. Dragon Prince is holding steady. It's possible that Morathi could come back with a lot of healing, but the fact that these two Nobles are still so healthy is a big problem. Yeah, we'll see. Swordmaster's kind of getting shot up a little bit by the Dark Riders at this point as they finish off the last of the Hellebronai there. Nice little rear charge from those Silverhelms. And over here, Morathi comes in to try and bail out some Bleak Swords. Not really sure what the Dark Riders are doing in this engagement, but a few of them get taken down as well. And the Dark Elves are very quickly going to move to army losses here, especially as a lot of these Dark Riders don't have that much ammo left. Definitely don't have enough ammo to finish off the Noble here. And speaking of the Noble, they are going to be able to catch Morathi out here. And let's see, where did Morathi go? She's in this mess somewhere. There she is. She's getting hit by the Silverhelms and more. Not able to really escape here. Looks like she tries to drop a Soul Stealer, doesn't quite get it off. And going to go ahead and hit army losses. So a fun battle from Triari. Big thanks for sending that one in. Not really nice use of the Fireborn there. And just staying calm, you know, keeping your forces together, keeping everything tight, and rushing in the face of that kind of a kite build. Definitely very effective. Yeah, decent stuff all around for the Dark Elf side. Kind of misused his cavalry a little bit there. The Slaanesh Harvesters got some good work done, but all the Cold One Cav did struggle somewhat in that engagement. So interesting stuff. But we've got a few replays to get through, so without further ado, let's go to the next one. Alright, we've got the Fireborn once again, Olariel, this time with a couple of Moon Dragons. Going to be fighting the Foul Norskins. We've got a couple of Valyrian Reaver Archers, some Spearmen up front. Yeah, Noble, relatively straightforward stuff. For the Norskins, we've got some Skinwolves out to the flanks here, Armored Skinwolves, including the ROR. Good stuff. In the front line, we've got some Marauders. Looks like a Mammoth, Wolfric on a Mammoth, a Death Sorcerer, and some Javelins, along with Berserkers and a single Spear. So, relatively straightforward. Going to be interesting to see how the High Elves take down the Mammoth here. They don't have a ton of great anti-large armor piercing tools. And obviously, like the Dragons multi-charging on the Mammoth could definitely get some good work done, but we'll see. Interesting builds on both sides. I do like the Lore of Death quite a bit there. Let's see, probably got Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. Yep. So relatively straightforward stuff. And here come the Norskin Ice Wolves. And all they need is one hit on those Reavers to get the ice effect, the Frostbite, and it looks like they just barely missed that, unfortunately. Dragon comes down to chase them off. Don't know if he actually got any damage. Doesn't look like he did, but regardless, Reaver's doing some good skirmishing at this point. Pretty much anything that they shoot out here is going to be a good target, but Elves are going to have to be careful. They are going to get outnumbered here pretty badly on the ground. Only the four Spearmen versus all of this Norskin stuff. It's going to be tough to protect, but the Archers throwing some fire there. A little bit of a breath attack, swing and a miss. It did maybe kill one model. Yeah, one model there from the Maws of Savagery, which is, you know, not bad. Looks like the boat comes through, does some really good damage to those Reaver Archers. And that's pretty much it so far. You can see the High Elf Spearmen going to be kind of moving to engage here a little bit. And here come the Fireborn as well, going to be delivering a decisive charge right into the face of these Marauders, trying to clear out that support very quickly. It looks like the Mammoth's going to try and make his way over to countercharge, but the Dragon Princes pull away there. The Noble will probably stay and fight, but we'll see. Dragon going to come down and charge. Yep, this is exactly what you want to do in this situation, is multi-charge with multiple single entities. This Noble's going to get absolutely deleted, though, as he just got the Hunter of Champions on him. Going to take a couple of huge hits here. Spirit Leech as well. So the Noble going very quickly. But you can see Wolfric likewise taking a ton of damage from these two dragons. And this is exactly what you need to do in single entity combat. Again, I'll say this before, I've said it again. If you have multiple single entities fighting one, the multiple are almost always going to win. You can see these 2 Moon Dragons plus the Noble just doing a huge amount of work on Wulfric, plus the healing, of course, keeping them sustained online as well. The Fireborn come in for a massive rear charge on those Maws of Savagery, and the anti-large charge bonus flaming damage will do a ton to these Maws of Savagery here. It's pretty much a hard counter to that unit specifically. You can see they dropped only another model there, but still tons of HP damage, and Wulfric is pretty much shut down at this point. Going to be a pretty quick victory for the High Elves, most likely. We'll see. Balance power still pretty close, as there's lots of Norscan infantry to try and get through. But, yeah, man, losing Wulfric like that's really, really painful. Noble's going to be able to chase him off, and the Dragons will be able to continue fighting there. Yeah, Maws of Savagery now starting to take a lot of damage from the Dragon itself. Again, they are weak to fire damage. Moon Dragons do fire damage. Kind of understandable situation there, honestly. The Javelins in the backline getting hunted by the Fireborn here as well. And, oh, man, that's a beautiful shot right there with the Dragon fighting in the background. Fireborn taking some jabs to the face, but they proc another charge real quick. Just go straight in. And it's only a matter of time now. The balance power starting to turn more and more in the High Elves' favor, and a Breath Attack comes down and just deletes some of these Maws of Savagery. Just absolutely removes their code from the game in a very, very brutal fashion. Javelins throwing in here. They are getting some good damage on the Moon Dragon. Not quite able to finish it off, but oh man. Then suddenly the Death Sorcerer reminds them that he has Spirit Leech, which was definitely a grave, grave mistake. Alarielle and the Noble are going to come in here, deliver the righteous justice of Ulthuan. And that should be critical army losses once he goes. We'll see. Looks like the Hunters are done. Marauder Spearmen still fighting. Wulfric still being chased off here by some Valyrian Reavers. He's got 55 HP, so can they finish him off? And it looks like they do actually finish him off just before the edge of the map there. That does trigger a more substantial leadership impact than if he had just fled. But still, the Marauders are still scrapping. We've still got 1 unit of Skin Wolves, Armored Skin Wolves here, but oh, this is what we've been waiting for. Dragon Princess going to get a charge? Nope, looks like they actually feign away there. Looks like we've got some Ice Wolves dispatched to try and chase after them, but yeah, that's not going to go too well. Dragon Princess will just turn around and directly face charge those wolves, absolutely destroy them. Maws of Savagery, or sorry, these other Skin Wolves now going to come in here, but oh man, Breath Attack from the Dragon up top comes in and just deletes a few of the unit models, and I imagine, yep, he's going to charge down directly after to follow up. So Dragon Princess and a dragon, who would have thought, together, and another dragon coming down to finish off the Norscan army. So another very fun one from Triari. He said, you know, the High Elves don't get too much love on my channel, and he's right. I don't play them super often. They are definitely a super strong faction, though, despite what people may tell you. And yeah, just a matter of time now just to finish off the Brutes of the Hound here. Unbreakable Berserkers. They come in, clean up some more spears, but that's going to be it for them. Fun stuff. A couple of nice High Elf games to start things out there. Good use of Alarielle and the Fireborn as well. Fireborn aren't a unit that I use too often, even though I'm a big fan of Elite Heavy Cavalry. They're just so expensive, but some very good work in both of those replays from Triari, so big thanks for sending that one in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Moon Dragons also did some heavy lifting there. Yeah, 107 kills on the Fireborn. Great stuff, so pretty decent. Let's go ahead and move to the next replay without further ado. Next up, we have Settra the Imperishable, gonna be leading his bony boys up against the Empire, so let's get to it. Settra leading the way. He's got 2 Bone Giants, very interesting. I've been seeing Bone Giants making a bit of a comeback recently. They're a very strong unit, always have been. I've got Kepler Guard as well, a couple of Tomb Guard with halberds, some spears, pretty interesting build. Scattered out to the flanks are a couple of Skeleton Horseman Archers. As for the Empire, we're going to be led by Karl Franz. Got a Bright Wizard here, some Handgunners, some Huntsmen, Spearmen. Yep, relatively infantry-centric composition with a couple of cannons as well. 1 unit of Demigryph Knights with halberds, and a unit of Empire Knights also. So you can see right off the bat, the artillery fight going to be getting underway as the Bone Giants start to rain some shots in. They are going to be going directly after the cannons here, and likewise the cannon's going to be returning fire. Oh man, brutal shot there. It kills quite a few of the crew, but did manage to miss the actual artillery piece itself. Meanwhile, over here, Skeleton Horseman Archers trying to get into range to actually shoot the artillery crews, but the Demigryph Knights and Empire Knights going to make sure that doesn't happen. can see the Huntsman also coming forward here. They're going to start unleashing some shots on Cetra. Of course, he's well armored, so he won't take a ton of damage, but likewise doesn't want to just sit and get shot for free. But oh man, a direct hit that time on one of the artillery pieces, and this Great Cannon's actually losing out this artillery fight to the two Bone Giants there. You can see also a burning head in the back line as the Skeleton Horseman Archers doing a lot of damage to the Hammer of the Witch's crew. They are completely unarmored, and these handgunners kind of just sitting and watching for the moment. One of the units trying to return some fire, but this other unit of handgunners really should come forward and start to work on that as well. But the Hammer of Witches not doing too hot. Not doing too hot at this point. Have they done a lot of damage to the Bone Giants? Not really. Not really paid for themselves in terms of damage in that sense. So, not the best, but they're continuing to fight at this point. And, I mean, this is a lot of points worth. I mean, it's 2,500 points worth of Skeleton Horseman Archers that's being potentially lost here as well. So, although it may not look like the greatest trade for the Empire, actually cost-wise, because of the Skeleton Horsemen, this is actually a pretty decent cost trade at the end of the day. Yes, it's going to be tough, especially without the two giants, without the two cannons to take down the giants plus Cetra. But, I mean, definitely taking out these Skeleton Horseman Archers is going to be very key here. The Empire Knights probably could have stayed and finished those ones off there, but Demogryph Knights coming over here. Looks like one unit completely down here. Another unit over on this side is crumbling at the moment, so interesting stuff. Cetra also comes forward here to start harassing some of these various units, but he's going to have to be careful. There's a lot of missile pressure here on him, and the physical resistance obviously helps mitigate some of that, but he still doesn't want to try and just sit and take those shots. Speaking of sitting and taking shots, Karl Franz takes a couple of brutal shots from the Bone Giant there. Yeah, does quite a bit of damage also, and this unit of Skeleton Horseman Archers again getting crumbled away. A good charge on these silver bullets here, but they're going to be followed up immediately by the Demogryph Knights. So a lot of back and forth here. The Empire, I would say, cost perspective, coming out pretty well. I mean, 2,000 points worth of cannon just about versus 2,500 points worth of Skeleton Horseman Archer, and considering the trade, I mean, he's also been able to do some damage to the Bone Giants, of course, as well. So we'll see. The Skeleton Horseman Archers aren't completely done yet, though, with a nice rear charge in on these handgunners, disrupting this missile pocket a little bit as the rest of his forces start to make their way forward here. These Empire Knights can come back to the fight here. Spearmen and Demogryph Knights, everyone kind of needs to get loose and get available, but the cannon's going to be shut down one final time here by the Horseman Archers. They're crumbling, just about finished off here. So, did they do their job? Was it worth it at the end of the day? I'm not really sure. Regardless, though, oh man, just about missing the fight of the ages here as Karl Franz comes in with all of his buffs popped. Cetra likewise has Overcast, Incantation of Curse Blades to give himself anti-large, and a key Overwatch shot, 2 Overwatch shots from the Bone Giants connecting directly on Karl Franz there in this kind of pitched duel situation. So, Karl, where'd you go, Karl? Karl is about to rout here, unfortunately, and a couple more shots from the Bone Giants actually could rout him off here, so that is a huge loss for the Empire. Likewise, though, he did a ton of damage to Cetra there, and with all of these missile units now potentially able to get secure here, a nice fireball coming in, and Incantation of Protection a little late there. It is going to be able to mitigate some of that missile fire, but all of these missile units are stacked up on top of each other, which is definitely a big mistake as well. The other thing, though, is the infantry engagement here. You can see the skeletons are crumbling pretty badly, but the Kepler Guard are normally a unit I would not recommend in this matchup, but they're going to get in here and start cutting state troops apart like it's nothing. 41 melee attack plus a bonus versus infantry with high weapon strength. These spearmen are going to get cut to pieces in no time. They are Demogryphs and Empire Knights fighting there. Probably want to try and pull away, but yeah, Cetra in a really, really bad situation at this point. Going to go after this Fire Wizard here who just roasts out that Tomb Guard. Some more great value. And yeah, Cetra in this crossfire not going to survive for too long. Ushabti Summon, going to try and help bail him out a little bit here, but there's just too much Overwatch fire from different directions. And Cetra is going to get taken down here. The Bone Giants, not much ammo left. They're trying to finish off Karl. You know, they've been able to do quite a bit of damage to various units, but have they actually gotten their value back is my question. Oh man, Karl just gets absolutely sniped, and Cetra goes down from the Empire missile units at basically the same time. So both lords just dropping at essentially the exact same moment here. It's going to be an interesting situation. These Kepler Guards still being completely healthy, full 90 unit models, no damage taken pretty much at all. So it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of missile units over here, though, for the Empire. And the Kepler Guard, of course, only 50 armor on them. Nice shots from the Bone Giants, though, coming in, doing some good damage to the Demigryph Knights and the Empire Knights as well. But we'll see. The Summon Dushabti here getting worn away. They are doing some good damage in the meantime, but yeah, they've taken quite a bit of HP damage, and it does look like their summon timer is just about up. They've still got a little bit of time left, but it's going to be interesting. It'll be tough for the Empire to take down these Bone Giants, I think, without some of the tools, but Demigryph Knights being gone is definitely helpful. These Kepler Guard, too, they're going to be a big danger. See if these Empire Knights can get in and get a good charge here. Kepler Guard don't have a whole lot of armor, so they will take some pretty good damage from that charge. But obviously, the Empire Knights don't want to try and stay and fight there. And with the Dushabti summon gone, that's going to equalize the balance power a little bit. Empire can start to gather up some of these ranged units over on this side. Start to finish off some of these Skelly boys over here. Yeah, the Bone Giants are pretty much out of ammo as well now, so they're going to have to come into melee to fight now. And the fact that the Empire can kind of spread their missile units out and get a nice concave here to shoot from multiple angles. I definitely don't want to be fighting like this, though. Fighting the skeletons in melee is going to be a big mistake for sure. But another fireball there. Going to hit that Bone Giant. Going to be pretty long into the late game here, most likely. So let's fast forward a little bit as these two forces kind of reform here. Skeletons and Tomb Guard continuing to crumble, but we do have Empire infantry coming back, and that Bright Wizard as well. Very nice Burning Head to just finish off a couple of units there. You can see the Huntsmen come forward and start to shoot the Bone Giants. We're going to have the Handgunners coming forward to start shooting the Bone. Oh, and a really nice Burning Head. Of course, Kepler Guard weak to fire damage. They are going to take a ton from that Burning Head, and with their low armor and weakness to fire, it's a very, very effective spell in that situation. So Empire kind of forming up a little bit of a concave here. These various ranged units taking pot shots at the Bone Giants. Of course, again, the heavy armor will help quite a bit, but the Hunters with the anti-large will be able to get some good damage in, and of course, Handgunners. They don't care too much about armor, right? We don't get to see just regular run-of-the-mill Handgunners too often these days, so pretty cool stuff. Beautiful volley. Even if there's not too many of them left doing some really, really good damage. Both these Bone Giants suffering pretty badly. And it's just the Kepler Guard and these Tomb Guard mostly left at this point. If the Bright Wizard has one more Burning Head, that could be the decider here if he's able to burn out the Kepler Guard. But the Bone Giants are both crumbling now at this point. Very, very bad situation. This ranged crossfire has been a little too much for them. Empire Knights, though, charging in. The Halberds are going to be able to finish them off. So things are staying pretty much dead even, if slightly in the Empire's favor at this point. But yeah, the Bone Giants just so slow. Only 32 speed means they can get outran by a lot of these Empire ranged infantry here, which is a little bit stressful, but probably going to make contact with these Handgunners at the very least. Oh, looks like they're squeaking away. Oh, and he does make impact hits on a few of them. Gets a nice little stomp there, but just so low on HP, only 1600 HP left. Oh, we're starting to run out of ammo, though, on some of the Empire troops. You can see these Huntsmen are out of ammo. Still plenty of ammo on the Handgunners here and the Handgunners here, but oh man, the Kepler Guard are making their way over as well. Some nice shots right in the face. A couple of these cannons still in this area here. Oh man, these Handgunners don't want to take this fight for sure. This last Bone Giant, though, crumbles, securing all of the ranged units over on this side here. And then that leaves these other units to start to fire into the Kepler Guard here. So I think the Empire can probably take this. It's going to be really tough to say in the late game here, but this Bone Giant taking a few more shots. The Huntsmen can make their way over here and start to fight in melee this unit that's out of ammo. You can get some supporting spears here as well. So yeah, we'll see. Kepler Guard definitely got the number of these Handgunners. Definitely want every bit of them, as is understandable. But Bone Giant now, if he can hit army losses, if the Empire player can trigger army losses for the Tomb Kings, then the Bone Giant and these other units will just crumble away regardless. So that's kind of why he's kiting out the Kepler Guard here. Bone Giant goes down, and now it's just the Tomb Guard left. So we'll continue to fast forward as the Empire player uses up the last of his ammo, moves in to fight the Tomb Guard in melee, and actually they do start to kind of lose out here as they crumble away. The Kepler Guard go on a wild goose chase after that other unit of handgunners, but those Tomb Guard definitely do not want to crumble here. You can see they take a long time to crumble away. And at this point, things are not looking great for the Kepler Guard. They have managed to tank out this entire battle pretty much by themselves, but that's not going to be enough, I don't think. We'll see. There is just a handful of shots on these handgunners, and to be honest, the Kepler Guard carve up most of these guys in melee without too much issue, so last unit goes off the edge there, and here come the Kepler Guard. Bright Wizard going to come forward here. He is actually on foot, so he will be, you know, have that bonus versus infantry apply to him. He's going to start to take some hits here. You can see he kind of tried to break the charge a little bit of those Kepler Guard. The rest of the Empire unit's going to charge in here, and this is now the deciding engagement. Does he have a burning head? If he still has a burning head in his pocket, this could be the engagement, but it does look like the Kepler Guard are going to cut through the rest of these Empire units, and they are not feeling too happy in terms of their leadership. Just a handful more shots from those handgunners, and we'll see. I don't know. Maybe the Kepler Guard can finish this one off. It looks like everything shatters except the Bright Wizard. So, oh man, yeah, all of a sudden things are looking not great for the Empire, as this Bright Wizard's going to start fighting here. He very quickly starts to take the anti-infantry damage, and how about that? The Kepler Guard just tanking out the finish there. Wow, I really didn't think they were going to be able to pull that one back, but yeah, fun stuff. Definitely a nice use of, again, a unit that I don't personally use too often because I'm not a big fan of them, but it just goes to show if you don't have the right tools or if you don't use your tools in the right way, the Kepler Guard are a nightmare to deal with. This Empire player here, God of AK, definitely needed to get his Burning Head, an Overcast Burning Head in particular, a lot earlier on in the battle on the Kepler Guard there in order to kind of remove them off of the board. Had he done so, then the fight definitely would have turned out a little bit differently, but still a very fun battle. Big thanks to Optimus Pine for setting that one in, and we'll go to the next replay. Next up, we've got the Proud Dawi. They're going to be taking on the Lizardmen, so let's get to it. We've got gyros, brimstone guns, count them at 4. A couple of cannons, sorry, just one cannon. Dwarf warriors, miners with blasting charges. A Rune Lord leading the way with Gotrek and Felix. Yes, the Manling is here also. And yeah, pretty straightforward build. Maybe some Longbeards scattered around as well. As for the Lizardmen, we've got a Dread Saurian, Feral Dread Saurian. Very strong, I don't know about strong, but bold choice, I guess, in this matchup. Saurus Warriors, Korhort of Sotek. We've got a Beastcaster, a Kroxgor Ancient here. A whole bunch of Kroxgors getting pounded. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Fairly straightforward. Looks like some horned ones over on the side. So yeah, I just want to point out very quickly that this is the ideal use for gyro copters with brimstone guns. You really, even though they're anti-large, they'll do okay shooting single entities. You really want to be shooting like cavalry and monstrous infantry with these guys because you can actually kill models relatively quickly with them. And you can see here, oh man, this gyro's getting a little aggressive, even rear charging those Kroxgors, trying to route them off. It does look like they actually do route theirs, so that's interesting. Meanwhile, the Dread Saurian having some fun with the Dwarven infantry here, getting into the front line. Oh man, absolute brutality. Kroxgors also getting in here, swinging their paddles. Longbeards will be able to hold up okay because they're melee defense, but it's still going to be a bit tough. You can see the Dwarf line just getting crumped on pretty quick here. Warriors to Dragonfire Pass as well. It's getting stepped on by these Kroxgors a little bit, but here come the blasting charges. Going to be wrecking the Saurus, especially with their relatively low armor. But the Kroxgors won't take quite so much damage, but Horned One's moving up into the second line here. The Manticore came in to shut down the cannon, but very nicely played by the Dwarf player here, disengaging with that cannon crew, getting them off their artillery pieces and coming forward. Meanwhile, the Gyros, they're taking some time to get their work done, but they are getting some work done. You can see another unit of Kroxgors has been rounded off here, so so far, definitely some back and forth. A lot of these Dwarven infantry getting crushed pretty hard here, but oh man, this is potentially a good situation. Where's Grombrindle? Where's the hero squad? Not really sure. It looks like over here. Yeah, so we'll check in with them. They fight against some of these Kroxgors here. The Rune Lord. I said Grombrindle. It's actually the Rune Lord, Gotrek, and Felix. Oh man, here's the Dread Boy. Interesting to bring the Dread Saurian against the Dwarves. Typically, you see the Dread Saurian more as like an anti-cavalry or anti-monster. type unit rather than being specifically anti-infantry, but it's doing so well so far. Racked up 30 kills, pretty decent stuff. Getting a little bit enraged there, which is not the best, but the Croc score is taking so much damage is potentially bad, but this is great. Using this King Chief to chase off all these routing units there, that's pretty good stuff. The Horned ones also in the back line have done some good damage to various units. Oh man, they're going to be able to nom on this artillery crew here. We'll see. There's about 10 of them left. They're probably going to get routed, but the question is, will the Horned ones stay and fight them, or will they try and target some other units? Meanwhile, if we take a look over here, Gyro's reunifying again. This one decided to leave those Croc scores out in the open, you know, just leave them for the time being. But yeah, Lizardman forces getting a little thin on this side. They still have the Saurian, obviously, but over on this side, they have been able to beat up the Dwarves a little bit better. Cohort of Sotek still fighting on. We've still got some Saurus Warriors and the Croc Score Ancient himself. So, good stuff so far. The Horned ones are next going to be the target of the Gyro squad. And again, because they can lose models relatively easily, you definitely want to be using the Gyrocopters against them. Take down a couple of models here and there. Good stuff. And yeah, you can see the Hero Squad just blending through the last of the Saurus Warriors here. They're going to go ahead and peel off, it looks like, and maybe go after the Dread Saurian. And now comes the turn of the Croc Score Ancient. And you guys will see real quick, although the Croc Score Ancient's incredibly strong against the Dwarves, he definitely is a little bit squishy. So, missile fire just doesn't have that much HP, and especially against like the Brimstone guns, he'll take a lot of damage relatively quickly. So Cannon crew came back. Look like they're going to be getting back on that artillery piece there, so we'll see. It's definitely anyone's game at this point, although the Dwarves are slightly ahead on the balance of power. And this Gyro squad, man, the bold Gyros with no ammo, charging down into melee just to apply that rear charge penalty there. And here comes the big Dread Boy fighting after some of these heroes. Where's Gotrek and Felix? They're around here somewhere, no doubt. I also hear another Manticore summon going off, so, oh man. Gotrek getting staggered around a little bit, but he should be able to get some hits in. Oh, got a hit in there. And the cannon, it looks like, is back online as well, so that's going to be able to loose some shots in the late game here at this Feral Dread Saurian. The Miner is able to kind of protect against these Saurus Warriors here, but the Manticore drops down once more to try and finish off these Dawi Cannon crew. They're gonna run away again. Probably not rout. We'll see. It looks like they do actually get terrified there. A bit unfortunate, but nonetheless, Gotrek, Felix, the Rune Lord's still fighting. The Rune Lord's getting beat up pretty bad, but he's still here. And the Brimstone guns, some of them still have a bit of ammo left, so they're trying to take down the Dread Saurian or the Croc Score Ancient. Either target would be good. Probably be better to try and take down the Ancient first so that you can actually get a leadership route on the Dread Saurian. But, oh man, looks like the Dread Saurian pushing Felix away here from the rest of his hero squad, so he won't be able to heal them. That's pretty brutal stuff. But again, this Dawi artillery crew is still hanging around, so we'll see. Very back and forth at this point. Some bongs being dropped there. Yeah, the Ancient's still alive, but a few key hits there from the Brimstone guns. Probably we're going to be finishing him off relatively soon. Looks like a nice Wissen's Wild Form for some physical resistance. For some extra armor and weapon damage. But the Croc Score Ancient, even though 150 armor, still not doing great, and it looks like he actually gets routed off here. So, despite the fact, you know, Felix is getting terrorized and just absolutely eaten by the Dread Saurian, the fact that the Ancient is gone is going to be huge here. And likewise, the bombers, or the chopper, is going to be dropping their bombs here on this tight little pocket of Saurus that's fighting, kind of surrounding Gotrek. And yeah, we'll see. It's still anyone's game at this point, but the Dread Boy definitely doing a ton of damage here to poor Felix. Felix is having to run for his life. And a few Croc scores still hanging around as well, but the Ancient being routed off is huge. Absolutely huge. You can see Gotrek tries to disengage as well, as he's getting very low on HP. And likely the Gyros are going to come in to try and support him in this engagement so that he doesn't have to necessarily fight here alone. But interesting, very interesting. Gyros haven't quite finished off the Croc Score Ancient yet, but where is that Cannon crew? Is the Cannon crew still around? The Cannon crew is still around here. In fact, they are emerging from the woods at this point in this very, very late game situation here, so we'll see. Looks like Felix, did he just get killed? It looks like he just got killed by the Dread Saurian. Or no, he's still alive. He's just shattered at this point. The Dread Saurian, though, getting not too happy in terms of leadership. It's a little bit low at this point, and oh, looks like the last of the gyros used up all their ammo. Yeah, gyros are all out of ammo at this point, so it's going to be, you know, either trying to kill the Dread Saurian in melee with like Gotrek here, or you know, trying to use the. I say Gotrek, and I think actually Gotrek might have gotten killed here, but yeah, the cannon crew can come back and maybe get on their cannon. Maybe it will be enough to finish off the Dread Saurian. It's not looking good for the dwarves all of a sudden on the balance of power. Very heavily in the Lizardmen's favor with losing out on the gyros like that. Oh man, just with no ammo left, it's going to be tough. The Rune Lord does come back. We've got a handful of miners with blasting charges back from route here as well. So, yeah, go ahead and keep fast-forwarding through this late game, as it is going to be a bit of a grind, to say the least, as this cannon crew tries to get back on. And they do, in fact, get back on right as the Kroxgor Ancient gets finished off right at the edge of the map by those gyros in melee. So, the one cannon crew, the most brave and loyal Dawi cannon crew ever to exist here, going to be hopefully getting a shot. Come on guys. Nope, they don't actually get a shot off, but what it means is that the Dread Saurian actually gets routed here, and the fact that the Dread Saurian is going to get probably chased off by gyros, maybe that will be the difference at the end of the day. Longbeards come in, Warriors of Dragonfire pass even, some blasting charges, they're able to defeat the one isolated Saurus there, and again, the cannon gets back online, and now for real this time, we're going to be able to start seeing some shots in this late game. So nice shot there, a bit of a swing and a miss, but still, the fact that he has this cannon online to pressure does mean that the Lizardman player is going to go ahead and admit defeat there. So a very, very tight, close battle at the end there. Huge thanks for Republic for sending that one in. I don't remember exactly who it was that sent that in, but regardless, a super fun replay. A big thanks for that one. And yeah, definitely fun. Going so heavy on the gyros can be a little bit risky, but they definitely paid for themselves here. Even just taking out the Kroxgors was enough, but then, you know, having the ammo the late game to help finish off the horned ones, and even the Red Saurian, using the gyros in melee for like rear charges and stuff is something that not a lot of people do, but it can be very effective. It's really one of your only options for like chasing routing units off the field. So fun stuff. That's going to be it for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this community multicast. I'm going to be making this a semi-regular thing. I don't know, maybe we'll do like once a week. So if you want your replay featured, just locate me on any of the Discords that I tend to hang around in, or you can shoot me an email at dovplays@gmail.com, and I'll have a look at your replay. No guarantees that it'll end up in one of these episodes, but I will definitely have a look at it. So, big thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.